Hello everyone, I am Madhan Kumar. Today I am going to present a package called dataviewR in a topic, a robust and informative application for viewing data frames in R. So let's get started with the presentation. Efficient data exploration is essential to drive clinical insights and ensure reliable downstream analysis. So everybody have used R to view data frames or tables in our day-to-day programming activities. So whenever we are clicking on a data frame or a table object, it opens it in a function called view function, which is from utils package that will be included in the base R itself. So when we are looking at the data set in the view function, so it's it shows it shows a spreadsheet-like window, which is very static and lacks interactivity and reproducibility. To enhance user friendliness and interactivity, I have developed an R package called dataviewR, which is offering an interactive environment to explore and analyze data.frame and table objects without coding. The key features of this package are complex filtering, column selection, auto-generated reproducible deployer code, and detailed metadata display. That is, it shows variable types, labels, and other attribute related information. The package got published on CRAN as well. So let's now look at the rationale of the presentation. So as I mentioned, the traditional view function from the utils package provides a static spreadsheet-like interface for viewing the data frames and tables. As you can see from the screenshot here, so it shows the iris data frame in a minimalistic view. So it lacks interactivity. So on our day-to-day programming activities, we need to know about our data set in a more exploratory way. We need to know much information about the data set, like what are the attributes it contains and what are, let's say if I want to select some columns, only particular columns, then I couldn't be able to select those columns in this view function. So that's why I said it lacks interactivity and user friendliness. So this presentation will demonstrate a newly created package, dataviewR, an interactive and feature-rich dataviewR. The core functionality of this package is implemented through a function called dataviewer, which empowers the users to perform a complex filtering, column selection, code reproducibility, and metadata inspection. So let's look at the demo of this package features. So now we are in the R Studio. So I will load the dataviewer package first in the R. Now I'm going to call the dataviewer function from the dataviewR package. So it opens a Shiny application for viewing the data frames. The Shiny application got open and now you can able to see two tabs. One is import dataset tab and the other one is the viewer tab. Since we didn't provide any input to our function, it opens an import panel to select our data set either from the global environment or from any of our install packages. So now I'm going to select a dataset from my global environment called adae. So I'm selecting the dataset. I'm clicking on import data. So after clicking on import data, it goes straight to the viewer. And now I'm clicking on the load the data. Our dataset got loaded, as you can able to see. So our dataset got loaded. So now let's explore all the features one by one. The first feature is that I'd like to talk about is the column selection feature. So in the left hand side, we have all the columns listed. So if we want to see all the columns, we can say by default, it selected all the columns. If you want only particular columns to be selected, we can click on the select slash deselect all, which deselects all the columns. And now we can only click on the necessary columns that we are interested in. So now I'm selecting only few columns. So now I have selected 5 columns. So here, so whatever information that we want to look at, we can able to explore here itself with only the information that we needed, which is not possible in the view function. The next feature I'd like to talk about is that the complex filtering condition. So let's say I'm interested to view only the male participants who are having age of 18 and above. Then I can go to my filtering condition. I can give age greater than or equals to 18 and sex equals to male. So this will only filter the male participants who are having age 18 and above. Let's say I would like to see all the information present or not. So I'm just scrolling over it to view all the information present or not. So from here I can able to see some missing values for the AEACN variable. So now I'm interested to view, okay, how many rows are having missing values for the AEACN variable. Then I can give s dot NA of AEACN. I can click on submit. So now it shows 596 rows. So 596 rows male participants who are of age 18 and above are having missing values. The number of rows are 598, 596. Sorry, 596. So this complex filtering condition is not possible in the traditional view function that we will use. And let's say I'm more interested, I want to dig deeper. I only want to see, for example, this subject. I can simply click on this cell and simply copy this and go to the filtering condition, and I can only filter for this subject. So it filters only 4 rows, and I can see all the information related to this subject. For example, if I want to copy all this information, I can simply click on this copy button, and all the 4 rows and all the columns got copied. We can paste it in any other tools like Excel or Word, which is of really useful. Let's say I need to directly download instead of copying, means I can simply click on this download button. It allows us to download either in CSV or in Excel. So now let's say I want to replicate the same thing in my further analysis. I can simply click on this generate R code button, which shows what are all the filtering conditions that we applied and all the columns that we selected. You can simply click on this copy, and I can paste it directly in any of the scripts that I am writing, which enables us to reproduce the same information that we viewed now. So now let's clear this filter, and I just want to know, okay, whether all my variables have attributes or not. Then I can simply go to the attribute information table, and you can see here the attributes. For example, let's look at the study ID. So it has an icon which says ABC, which means it's of it's a character variable, and it's having a label attribute, and the label is study identifier. So this way, for example, now let's look at this AE sequence. It's a numeric variable. So the icon shows what type of the variable, and the and if the label has any attributes, then the attribute column and the value column shows the attributes and the corresponding values respectively. So let's say, as I mentioned, I want to know whether all my variables have attributes or not. So I can simply scroll down to see whether all my variables are having attributes or not. So as you can able to see here, the depth flag DTH DTF is not having any attribute associated with it. So this is helpful when we are creating any data sets, or when you want to know, okay, is there any things which I need to work on. So this is very helpful in those scenarios. One more thing here to look. Here, let's look at this TRT EDM variable. It's having two icons. One is a calendar icon, another one is a time icon, which means it is a date time variable. And the associated class is the posit. And it has label of date time of exposure to treatment. The time zone is UTC. So this way, we can simply see what type the variable has. And now, let's say if I have only date information stored in a variable, then it only shows the calendar icon. Let's look at this ASTDDT. It only has the calendar icon, which means it is of class date. So it shows the corresponding class as well. So this way we can able to view the attribute information of all the variables in our data set. So now we have covered the column selection feature and the complex filtering condition feature and the attribute information and the reproducible R code and small options like copy options and the download options. Now there's one more small options like we can explore. We can easily explore without giving any filtering condition. Let's say I just want to know what are all the possible AE terms it has. Then I can simply click on this box. It shows all the possible values of the AE terms here. Let's take this one, the start date imputation flag. So it's having D, M, and the missing rows. So this way we can quickly check for is there any missing values in our variables or not. So these small things will make a big difference in our day-to-day programming activities. Now let's go back to the presentation. So we have looked at the demo of our DataViewer package along with all the features. So I've listed down all the features which we discussed just now in a detailed manner in this slide deck. So we have already saw this data import tab and the advanced filtering condition. It supports all the variables and the column selection and the attribute information table, which shows all the metadata information of the variables present in the dataset, and the R code generation. It automatically generates the deployer code for further analysis. And the small options such as the copy and download options, which helps us to copy the filtered dataset and download it as well in different formats such as CSV and Excel files. So as I mentioned, the dataviewR got published in CRAN and it's of public use now. We can install the package using install.packages within bracket, within quotes, dataviewR, and the minimum R version required is 4.4.2. I have summarized all the differences between the view function and the dataviewer function in this table, as you can see. And this is the overview of the data viewer. So let's look at some of the future scope of this package. So the future planned updates are multi-data set tabs. Currently, it only supports one dataset. In future updates, I'm planning to bring multi-data set tabs for viewing two or more datasets simultaneously. And build some documentation website for data viewer using the package down package. And I'd like to acknowledge other packages which I used for the development of this package. DT package, Shiny package, and the deployer package, and the data mods package. I'd like to thank all the authors and the maintainers of this package at this time. Thank you everyone. I hope you find this presentation helpful. Please use the package and explore the dataset in a more interactive and efficient way. Thank you so much once again.